Hey there, I'm Maz, and welcome to Maz Show. This is your space to explore big ideas through books, society, knowledge, and history, all with one goal to build a better world and a brighter future. If you are curious, reflective, and ready to grow, you're in the right place. So tap follow, hit subscribe, and let's get thinking.
Imagine waking up one morning to find your democratically elected government overthrown by foreign spies. Today, we're diving into one of the most consequential covert operations in history, the 1953 CIA coup in Iran. We'll uncover how oil, empire, and Cold War paranoia collided to destroy Iran's democracy, and why its effects still shape global politics today. By the end of this episode, you'll understand how a few weeks in 1953 changed the course of Middle Eastern history. And joining us to break this down is our resident expert on Middle Eastern history. What can you tell us about Iran before this coup?
Well, in 1951, Iran was experiencing a remarkable moment of democratic potential. They had this charismatic prime minister, Mohammad Mossadegh, who was elected by parliament with massive popular support.
And what made Mossadegh such a significant figure?
He was really a champion of Iranian sovereignty. His big move was nationalizing Iran's oil industry, which had been controlled by the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company, what we know today as BP.
Wait, BP? As in British Petroleum?
Yeah, exactly. And you know what's interesting? The same company that would later cause the devastating Gulf Coast oil spill in 2010 was at the center of this crisis back in 1953.
That's quite a legacy. So what exactly did Mossadegh do?
On March 20, 1951, the Iranian parliament passed a law nationalizing the entire oil industry. Mossadegh wanted to audit their books and ensure Iran was getting fair royalties from its own resources.
Seems reasonable enough. How did Britain respond?
Oh, they were furious. Britain immediately launched a worldwide boycott of Iranian oil to strangle the economy. They even considered military action to seize the Abadan refinery, the world's largest at the time.
So they went straight to economic warfare?
Absolutely. But they quickly realized they needed American help to really deal with Mossadegh. And this is where it gets fascinating. They knew exactly how to get the US on board.
How so?
Well, when British intelligence officer Christopher Woodhouse went to Washington, he deliberately downplayed the oil issue and instead emphasized the threat of Soviet influence in Iran.
Ah, playing the Cold War card.
Exactly. And it worked perfectly. The Eisenhower administration, worried about losing Iran to Soviet influence, agreed to help overthrow Mossadegh.
And this became Operation Ajax, right?
Right. The CIA called it Operation Ajax, while the British called it Operation Boot. And here's where it gets interesting. They put Kermit Roosevelt Jr. in charge.
Wait, Roosevelt? As in...
Yep, Theodore Roosevelt's grandson. He was the CIA's Near East operations chief and became the on-the-ground manager of the coup.
So, how did they actually pull off the coup?
They used a combination of tactics. The CIA funded street protests, bribed Iranian officials, and ran a massive disinformation campaign in the local media.
Sounds like a pretty sophisticated operation.
It was. They even got the Shah to issue a decree dismissing Mossadegh, though he was initially reluctant. The CIA actually had to pressure him into it.
How did they convince him?
According to historian Ervand Abrahamian, they basically threatened him, saying if he didn't cooperate, they'd replace him with one of his brothers. Real mafia-style tactics.
That's incredible. What happened next?
On August 19, 1953, pro-Shah forces took to the streets. There were tanks, soldiers, and violent clashes. By the end of the day, Mossadegh was arrested and the Shah returned to power.
And the casualties?
The records show between 200 and 300 people were killed in the fighting. Mossadegh himself was arrested and spent the rest of his life under house arrest.
What happened to Iran after the coup?
The Shah became an autocratic ruler, using his secret police, Savak, to brutally suppress dissent. Meanwhile, Western oil companies regained control of Iran's oil industry.
So much for democracy.
You know what's really striking? This wasn't just about oil or communism, it represented something bigger. It was a new form of colonialism for the post-colonial world.
What do you mean?
Instead of direct colonial rule, Western powers learned they could use covert operations to maintain control over resources and friendly governments. It became a template.
Did the US government ever acknowledge its role?
Not until 2013, when the CIA finally declassified documents confirming their involvement. though President Obama had actually acknowledged it in a 2009 speech.
That's quite a delay.
Well, the British were even more reluctant. They actually tried to censor mentions of their role in official US histories as late as 1978, calling it very embarrassing.
How did Iranians view all this?
According to Dr. Abrahamian, it created this deep sense of betrayal. People realized that neither their parliament nor their monarch could protect them from foreign interference.
And the long-term effects?
The coup created a legitimacy crisis that eventually led to the 1979 Islamic Revolution. Many historians see it as the root of modern US-Iran tensions.
It's amazing how those few weeks in 1953 still shape politics today.
And you know what's particularly relevant? Iran actually had a higher literacy rate among women than India at the time. It wasn't some backward nation, it was building a democracy.
Until foreign powers decided oil profits were more important.
Exactly. And it's worth noting that Iran's oil nationalization law was completely legal under international law. They even offered to compensate the British.
So what lessons can we draw from all this?
I think the biggest lesson is about the long-term costs of prioritizing short-term interests over democratic principles. The coup solved an immediate problem but created decades of instability.
And it seems like the effects are still playing out.
Absolutely. Just look at current US-Iran relations. That deep distrust can be traced directly back to 1953.
It really shows how the past isn't just past, doesn't it?
Right. And it raises important questions about intervention and sovereignty that we're still grappling with today.
So when you step back from everything we've discussed, what's the key takeaway?
I think it's that democracy isn't just about elections. It's about respecting a nation's right to make its own choices, even when those choices affect our interests.
And the cost of ignoring that lesson?
Decades of instability, distrust, and conflict. The 1953 coup might have seemed like a success at the time, but we're still paying the price today.
You know, it's striking how a few weeks in 1953 could have such lasting consequences.
And that's perhaps the most important lesson, that moments of crisis often have implications far beyond what we can imagine at the time.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Remember, when you hear about current tensions with Iran, they didn't start yesterday. They started with a coup in 1953.
And with oil companies still wielding enormous influence over global politics, these lessons are more relevant than ever.
Thanks for joining us on this journey through one of history's most consequential covert operations. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and remember, the past isn't just history, it's prologue.
Show, let's go, open up your mind and grow. Facts and stories, things you never know. Every episode, we light the glow. Step into the world of Mass Show. Turn it up, let the rhythm flow. Feel the beat, take control. Don't be shy, just let it go. This is where the magic grows. Tune in now, it's the Mass Show. Lights up bright and minds will glow. Every day we learn and grow. Come along and join the flow. New ideas begin to shine. Breaking limits, crossing lines. Every moment feels divine. In the world of Mass Show time. Turn it up, let the rhythm flow. Feel the beat, take control. Don't be shy, just let it go. This is where the magic grows. Tune in now, it's the Mass Show. Lights up bright and minds will glow. Every day we learn and grow. Come along and join the flow.